The bright studio lights of the Jennifer Hudson Show bathed the stage in a warm glow. Audience members leaned forward in their seats, buzzing with anticipation. They weren't just here to see the award-winning singer and daytime host. Today's special guest was none other than Morris Day, the flamboyant frontman of the time, Prince's longtime collaborator, and a legend in funk and R&B. Jennifer Hudson walked out with her trademark smile, waving to the cheering crowd. Her voice rang out confidently. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only, Mr. Morris Day." The band hit a funky groove as Morris strutted onto the stage, dressed in one of his signature suits, purple silk with a matching fedora, gold chains glinting under the lights. He tipped his hat dramatically to the audience, earning loud applause. At first, the vibe was smooth. Jennifer asked about his career, his days with Prince, and his recent projects. Morris cracked jokes, slipping into his cool, cocky persona that fans adored. Every answer was sprinkled with flair. But as the interview deepened, a subtle tension started to brew. Jennifer, known for asking candid questions, shifted gears. "Morris," she said, leaning forward, "you've had such a legendary career, but there've also been stories about clashes, even with Prince himself. Do you think your attitude ever got in the way of your success?" The audience gave a collective, "Ooh." The question hung heavy in the air. Morris chuckled at first, but his smile didn't quite reach his eyes. "Now hold on, Jennifer," he said, adjusting his hat. "Attitude. That's called style. That's called confidence. If I walked around acting shy, you wouldn't even know the name Morris Day. Prince knew that, the band knew that, the whole world knew that." Jennifer nodded but pressed further. "Of course, but some say your confidence sometimes came off as arrogance. Even now, some younger artists feel you don't always give them respect. What do you say to that?" The room shifted. The audience, once clapping and laughing, now sat in hushed silence. Morris leaned back, crossing his arms. "Arrogance. Respect." His voice grew sharper. "Let me tell you something, Jennifer. I earned my respect. I've been doing this since before some of these so-called artists were even born. And I don't need to apologize for being real." Jennifer, maintaining her composure, countered with a calm tone. "But don't you think being real sometimes means being open to others, too? The industry's about collaboration, about building bridges." Morris's eyes narrowed. "Jennifer, with all due respect, you're sitting in that chair today because you sang your heart out and America fell in love with you. But don't try to lecture me about the industry. I've seen more, done more, and survived more than you could imagine." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Jennifer, visibly taken aback but refusing to let the moment rattle her, leaned in. "You're right, Morris, I came from a different path. But this platform isn't about tearing people down, it's about lifting them up. If you can't see that, maybe this isn't the place for you." Morris slammed his hand on the armrest of his chair, his rings clinking loudly. "Oh, I see it all right," he snapped. "I see what this is. Y'all want to make me the villain. You want me to sit here and nod and smile like some washed-up act. Well, Morris Day don't play that game." Jennifer tried to interject, but Morris was already rising to his feet. "You know what? I don't need this," he declared, pointing toward the audience. "Y'all came to see me, not to watch me get disrespected on live TV." The audience gasped again, some booing softly while others shouted encouragement. Jennifer stood too, holding her hands up. "Morris, wait. Let's not end it like this. We can have a conversation without walking away." But Morris was already storming toward the wings, his hat tilted low, his coat swishing dramatically as he went. The band stopped playing. The cameras tried to follow, but producers waved frantically to cut the feed. Jennifer turned back to the stunned audience. Her smile was gone now, replaced by a look of firm resolve. "Well," she said slowly, "sometimes even legends forget, respect goes both ways." The studio erupted with applause, though the energy was tense and unsettled. What was supposed to be a celebratory interview had turned into one of the most shocking daytime moments in recent memory. Backstage, Morris was pacing furiously, muttering under his breath about disrespect and setups. Meanwhile, Jennifer's team huddled, trying to decide whether to continue the show or go to commercial. The clash wasn't just a heated exchange, it was about to ignite headlines everywhere. And this was only the beginning. The audience was still buzzing long after the cameras cut to commercial. Whispers filled the studio. Did that just happen? Was that real? Some people were visibly upset, others thrilled to have witnessed television history. Backstage, the tension was even sharper. Morris Day paced the hallway like a caged lion, waving his hands as he spoke to his assistant. "Can you believe that? Trying to put me on the spot like I'm some rookie who just walked in off the street. I've been doing this for decades. Prince respected me. The world respected me. And now I'm treated like a has-been." His assistant tried to calm him. "Morris, man, maybe it came off different than it felt. Jennifer wasn't attacking you. She was just doing her job." Morris stopped pacing, his sharp eyes narrowing. Her job is to show respect to the greats who paved the way. Not drag them on her stage to make a spectacle. Meanwhile, Jennifer sat in her dressing room with her producer. She sighed deeply, taking a sip of water. "I didn't want it to go that way," she admitted. "But I also couldn't let him talk down to me like that." The audience deserved honesty. The producer nodded. It was raw, but real. The press is already blowing up. Twitter, TikTok, everything. It's going viral as we speak. Jennifer closed her eyes for a moment. She wasn't new to controversy. Her career had been built on grit, resilience, and perseverance. But this was different. Morris wasn't just any guest. He was an icon, a man tied forever to the legacy of Prince and the Minneapolis Sound. The headlines could either crown her as a bold truth-teller or paint her as disrespectful to a legend. By the time the commercial break ended, Jennifer was back on stage, smiling again for the cameras. "Well, folks," she said, "live television is unpredictable. But that's what makes it real. Let's keep this show going." The audience cheered, though the earlier clash lingered in the air like static electricity. The media firestorm. Within hours, clips of the confrontation flooded social media. Hashtags like #MorrisDayStorms often #Jennifer vs Morris trended worldwide. Some fans defended Morris fiercely. Jennifer disrespected a legend. Put some respect on Morris Day's name. He's earned the right to be arrogant. That's Morris freakin' Day. Others sided with Jennifer. She handled herself with grace. Morris was out of line. Jennifer Hudson didn't deserve that attitude. Period. Entertainment blogs scrambled to cover the story. Headlines screamed across the internet. Daytime drama. Morris Day walks out on Jennifer Hudson. Respect or arrogance? The clash between Hudson and Day divides fans. Talk shows and podcasts debated the incident, some calling it the most shocking TV moment since Wendy Williams fainted on air. The call. Late that night, Morris sat in his hotel suite, staring at his phone. Messages poured in, some from old bandmates, some from reporters, some from fans. Most were supportive, but a few cut deep. "Man, you didn't have to go off on her like that. You're better than that." He scowled, tossing the phone on the couch. But then it buzzed again. The caller ID made his stomach tighten. Jerome Benton, his longtime friend and fellow member of the Time. Morris answered with a groan. "Yeah, Jerome, what's up?" "Morris," Jerome's voice was calm but firm. "I saw what happened. You know I love you, man, but that wasn't a good look." Morris bristled. "Oh, so you're on her side now." "It's not about sides. It's about legacy. Prince always said, don't let ego burn the bridge before you even cross it. You're bigger than that moment, Mo. But if you don't fix this, that's what people are gonna remember." Morris was silent for a long moment, his pride wrestling with his better judgment. Jennifer's reflection. Meanwhile, Jennifer sat at home in her quiet living room, scrolling through the flood of comments. She tried to ignore the cruel ones, focusing instead on her motherly instinct, to understand, not to condemn. Her son, David, peeked into the room. "Mom, you okay?" he asked softly. Jennifer smiled faintly. "Yeah, baby. Just a tough day at work. You know, Grandma always says you can't control how people treat you. You can only control how you react." Jennifer chuckled, shaking her head. "You're too wise for your age." But his words stuck with her. She didn't want to be remembered as the host who broke Morris Day. She wanted to be remembered as the host who showed grace, even under fire. The reunion. 2 days later, Jennifer's producers called her into a meeting. Morris's team reached out, one of them explained. He wants to come back on the show. To clear the air, Jennifer raised her eyebrows. Are we sure that's a good idea? Could be risky, the producer admitted. But it could also be powerful. America loves a redemption arc. After a long pause, Jennifer nodded. All right, let's do it. Live, one more time. The tension was thick when Morris returned to the studio. This time, no flamboyant suit or cocky strut. He wore a simple black jacket, his hat in his hands. The audience watched, hushed, as he stepped onto the stage. Jennifer greeted him with a cautious smile. Morris, she said softly, welcome back. He cleared his throat, glancing at the audience before turning back to her. Jennifer, the other day, I let my pride get the better of me. I've spent my whole career being larger than life, and sometimes that means I forget to just listen. I disrespected you, and for that, I apologize. The crowd erupted in applause. Jennifer's eyes softened. She stepped forward, taking his hand. Thank you, Morris. I appreciate that, and I want you to know, I never meant to disrespect you either. My goal was to celebrate your legacy, not tear it down. Morris nodded. Then maybe we can start over. Jennifer grinned. I'd like that. To seal the moment, Jennifer invited Morris to perform with her. The band struck up a groove, and the two launched into a soulful duet, her powerhouse vocals blending with his smooth, funky delivery. By the end, the entire audience was on their feet, clapping and cheering, the earlier tension washed away in music. Epilogue. The media quickly shifted its narrative. Clash turns to class, Jennifer Hudson and Morris Day make peace. Clips of their duet trended almost as fast as the original argument. Fans flooded social media with messages of joy. That's what it's all about, forgiveness and music. Legends make mistakes, but legends also make things right. Jennifer reflected later in an interview. Sometimes, the hardest conversations are the ones that bring the most growth. Morris reminded me, and all of us, that ego can clash, but respect can always win in the end. As for Morris, he left the show with a renewed sense of humility. For the first time in years, he realized that his legacy wasn't just about being remembered as bold and brash. It was also about showing grace. And while the world would never forget the day he stormed off Jennifer Hudson's show, they would also never forget the day he came back, not as a villain, not as a victim, but as an artist willing to grow. Because in the end, music, and respect, spoke louder than pride.